It's the Mike Logan Show here on TribLIVE Radio. Ken Laird, Guy Junker, and you know Super Steeler Mike Logan, who, Guy, let's be honest, Mike's biased towards defense. He hates to see offense. He hates to praise offense. Who gets the game ball last night? The recent retirees, Joe Green and James Harrison, or how about Ben Roethlisberger and 6 more passing touchdowns?
Well, anytime you put Joe Green in a sentence in the comparison to anyone, you have to go with Joe Green. But I'm anxious to talk to James Harrison to find out
what fountain of youth he's
Ponce de Leon. His new name is Ponce de Leon. He's found the fountain of youth. The performance by him, just really getting into the flow, mesmerized me last night, and it was just an amazing victory. But you can't short Ben Roethlisberger either. He's really, really making a legitimate pitch about being elite status. You can't deny him any longer.
I think the last 2 weeks he's solidified his position as a Hall of Fame quarterback. If it was, he's already won the Super Bowls, but when you are the only guy ever to throw for 500 yards twice, you're the only guy ever to throw 6 touchdown passes in back-to-back games, even with today's inflated numbers, those things are crazy. James Harrison, I wrote he looked like the old James Harrison. No, he looked like the young James Harrison. I don't know what he looked like, but he looked like a guy that, if you're the Bengals and you're sitting there, watching that game last night, where the hell was that last year? We knew from the beginning when he went there that was a different defense and he might not fit in there, but I'm sure they didn't think he was capable of playing like that anymore.
Well, Mike, I always want to pump the brakes and look at the other side of it. Is there a possibility the Colts and the Ravens just have really bad secondaries? Is this all a mirage caught up in a Heinz Field hoopla of emotion?
Well, I will say in the Colts game, with Vontae Davis being out, who's a top corner, I think that definitely affected the secondary of the Colts. With the Pittsburgh Steelers playing against the Baltimore Ravens, I didn't think that they would give up that many points. I didn't think their secondary would be exposed as much as it was yesterday in that game, just because of the history between these two teams. And, that series when they got the 3 sacks on Ben Roethlisberger, I really thought that they were going to open it up because they had the key ingredient of how to get to him, and it was sending some different blitz looks and getting pressure off the one-on-one matchups with the offensive line. So I was thoroughly impressed with the rest of the game after that series, how Ben responded to that.
Yeah, I would think if they started that way in the first quarter, Ken, that would have been a more legitimate. But that game was going the way I thought it was going to go for the whole first quarter. And Ladarius Webb didn't practice fully last week, so he's not 100%. They're missing their best corner. The Steelers had an injury advantage against the Colts. But still, I don't think you can always parenthesize every time a team has success or failure, because you can certainly go back at some of the Steeler losses and say, hey, they got 3 defensive starters out. You don't think teams picked on the fact that, Ike Taylor and Jarvis Jones and those guys were all out? So, that's part of the game. There isn't a team in the league right now that doesn't have a couple starters out here and there. You still have to identify where to go. And the Bengals yesterday, Giovanni Bernard is out. His rookie steps in there and runs for 154 yards. So that's what it's all about. It's about guys being hurt, guys stepping up, and who has the people that are capable of doing that. And the Steelers have had the people that are capable of that. And they still gave up a lot of points. I don't think this team's going to win a game 10-7 anytime soon. But this is what we had hoped. Maybe not to this extent, putting up the kind of points they've put up 2 straight weeks, but this is what we've said all along, that the offense is going to have to carry the team a little bit, or probably outplay the defense for this season, and now they're doing that.
Yeah, and I think it's a good point. And, Mike, it's hard to hide talent, right? You see Antonio Brown and Martavis Bryant and Le'Veon Bell and Ben when he's Ben. Compare that to the Ravens' skilled players. It wasn't even close last night. Right.
I think Ben really put himself on a higher level than a lot of athletes out there. He made some plays last night with some of his throws, some of his decisions, some of his pump fakes, some of his elusiveness that other guys just aren't going to make. And I think right now he is actually making Martavis Bryant a better player. He's making Marcus Wheaton a better player because he's able to notice some different things where coverages are, and he's able to just pick them apart. So right now, Ben is raising his level, and it's making other players on that team raise their level as well.